Hi, my name is Dr. John Douillard, and welcome to LifeSpa.com, where we prove ancient medical wisdom with modern science. And today I want to ask the question, is meditation a hack? Is it a hack for something that we have evolved to enjoy, genetically adapt to for millions upon millions of years? I read some interesting science, and I have an article coming out very soon about this, that when people meditate, they actually positively alter the genetic expression in one study of over 1,700 genes, and in another study over 500 genes. That's almost 2,500 of our genes. We only have 20,000 of them that are positively changed and upregulated in a positive way by meditation. So how does this 20-minute little glimpse of silence change us in such a dramatic way? So I was like, we create genes that respond to certain things because we did those things a lot over a long period of time. Like, for example, right? New science suggests that we actually did, as ancient humans, eat a lot of grain because Africa was covered with grasslands. So they ate a lot of that. And there's hard science to prove that, right? Well, we also acquired about 2 million years ago a gene for the enzyme to digest starches like grain called amylase. Well, why would we ever acquire a gene for amylase if we weren't eating a lot of grain, right? So whatever we do a lot of, we eventually get a gene to deal with it, right? Like in Northern Europe, people had a gene to digest, they become lactose persistent, where they can digest milk sugar even after they're, babies and they're weaned, where a lot of people in Asia never developed that ability to digest milk sugar after weaning. But people in Europe acquired that gene. So we acquire genes for doing stuff. So why in the world would we positively upregulate the benefits of express the genes in a positive way if we meditate for 20 minutes? Is that something that we were born doing? Did ancient humans meditate? I don't really think so. I think that, so let's think about that. Ancient humans living on the savannas of Africa, living in the wilderness, living off the land, Native Americans living off the land, cultures that were connected to the rhythms of nature. Nobel Prize winning science, circadian medicine, is all about living in sync with those natural cycles, right? That's how we got here. New Nobel winning science is saying that the future of medicine is us getting reconnected to those circadian rhythms. Who carries those rhythms? The microbes. The microbes are really fundamentally running the show. That's another discussion. But we entrained silence. So when you go into the woods and you go into the forest, you actually have a therapeutic effect from that experience. I've written a bunch of articles on something called forest bathing, which doesn't mean taking your clothes off and bathing in the forest. It just means being in the forest. In fact, I think there's 62 forests in Japan that are certified therapeutic forests for forest bathing. I don't know why they call it that. I think that's just how it translates from Japan, because they did the original science on that. But there's really amazing amounts of science suggesting that when we go into the woods and when we go into nature, we have this amazing benefit, therapeutic benefit. And what happens when you go into nature is it creates this inner peace, this inner serenity, because nature is by definition peaceful and serene. I mean, every once in a while a bear or a lion chases you, but the basic theme of our evolution for millions of years has been that we were, living in sync with these rhythms in a very, very silent way. Now, in Ayurvedic medicine, they talk about a substance called ojas. Ojas is the physiological expression of this silence, this peace, this calm, this virility, this vitality, this immunity, this robust thing. And one of the major ways that you build ojas is, of course, by going into nature and becoming still. All right, so now hallucinate for me for a second and follow me as we go from ancient wisdom to meditation, or ancient living off the land in this total peace and calm in training this rhythms where we, over all those years, we probably did have genes that were completely connected and depended on them and fed off that silence, right? Because that's what genes do. We adapt to our environment. That's what the genes are all about. So we, seeming like, adapted to a genetic positive alteration when we had that silence. So we always had that as our baseline support. Cultures started becoming more civilized. People started living together in groups. And in the Vedic era, and probably other places as well, they realized that if we would just close our eyes and meditate and kind of reproduce the silence of the wilderness in a meditation, you can hack those genes and get the measurable benefits of what our ancestors got every day of their life naturally by actually having a meditation. I just think that's phenomenally profound. Remember, meditation alone upregulated the positive benefits of over 2,000 genes. It's pretty powerful. So why wouldn't anybody meditate? If once you know that it's going to actually change the genetic expression of your genes and your weak links in your genes, why wouldn't you meditate? Well, I wrote a course, a meditation called the 1 Minute Meditation, which only takes a minute. It's a free video you can watch, which I think is phenomenal and works amazingly well, but people still have trouble doing it. I created a course called the Transformational Awareness Technique, which includes 6 meditations. It leads baby steps to get people to drop into finding an easier approach to get the benefits of meditation. And people still have a hard time sticking with it. So this hack that was created to reproduce the stillness and silence of nature, I really wonder if it's working. Because I think that when you think about the overwhelming amount of interest there is in nature, in forests, and our park systems, and getting camping permits are almost impossible in the summer these days. There is a natural inclination that we have, seems like, to go into the wilderness and be by a river, by a lake, in the stillness of a pine forest or whatever it might be. And the benefits of that are profound. So my takeaway here is to realize that meditation just may have been a hack for giving people in a civilized culture the same benefits that they got from living in the wilderness, and kind of have your city version of wilderness in your little room meditating, which is great and phenomenal, and hard science to prove it, including things like stress reduction, longevity, enhanced coordination, enhanced awareness, better brainwave coherence, boosting alpha, meditative calm in your life, so you're more peaceful and calm, not racing around, better memory, support for pain, support for mood, depression, anxiety, higher and more balanced cortisol levels, support and stabilize blood sugar. Really good science on the benefits of meditating for blood sugar. Increases melatonin naturally, which allows you to sleep better and be awake better during the day, better cognitive function. The list of benefits of meditation go on and on and on. The list of forest bathing benefits are absolutely well documented. So interesting discussion, right? I just think it was a fascinating article that I wrote. It's coming soon here in July. And I just think that you might want to think a little bit more deeply about taking time to hack the wilderness by being more regular in your meditation practice. If you don't know how to do it, watch my 1 minute meditation. It's a free video. Go to our Transformational Awareness Technique. We give you the first 2 lessons for free. And there's 2 meditations there you can grab for free, which is just super cool. And check all that information out. And then the very best you can this summer, boy, let's get out in nature. Let's entrain those rhythms. If you really want to add like the superfood to this whole thing, meditate in the wilderness and get the best of both worlds. Pretty cool. That's what my wife and I do. We live here in Colorado. We go to Estes Park on a regular basis, our favorite place, and we always go on a hike, and we always find a rock that we can sit on and meditate and just like suck it in, all that stillness and that calm. It's absolutely rejuvenating. I think in our culture, we absolutely have a nature deficiency disorder that runs rampant through all of us. So please think about taking advantage of nature. Seems like we sure do have genes to respond to those benefits. And if you can't do that, meditate, because we definitely have genes that respond to meditation and the silence that it creates. Thanks for listening. Check out this article at lifespa.com.